All right, if you're in the agency world, you know the feeling. The daily chaos of juggling dozens, maybe hundreds, of client accounts. It is a massive pain point. So today, we're going to dive into a new way to solve it, for good. Let's kick things off with a quote that I'm pretty sure is going to hit close to home. Sound familiar? Yeah, for a lot of you, that's just a Tuesday. Your team is constantly bouncing between Meta, Google Ads, TikTok, Shopify, maybe some weird custom CMS the client has. You get the picture. It's this feeling of organized chaos that just seems to be the baseline for modern agency life. Now, you might think the cost is just, a few wasted minutes logging in and out here and there, but the real damage goes so much deeper. It's the mental friction, the constant context switching that yanks your team right out of their creative zone. And, of course, there's that ever-present risk of making a mistake, like posting on the wrong client's account. The bottom line is, this chaos is quietly but surely eating away at your margins. Okay, so let's really dig into this problem. What does that daily grind actually look like? And what are the real-world business consequences that come from trying to manage all this complexity with tools that, let's be honest, were never built for it? Here's just a tiny snapshot of that daily juggle. And the root of the problem is this. Traditional browsers were built for one person, not for a whole agency managing dozens of brands. All the tabs in a single window share their cookies and sessions. And that's exactly why you end up in this nightmare of using different browser profiles, a million incognito windows, or even a completely separate laptop just to stop client accounts from tripping over each other. It's a fragile system, and frankly, it's exhausting. This right here is such a critical way to think about the problem. It's not about saving 30 seconds on a login. It is about protecting your team's flow state, that deep, focused work where all the best ideas happen. Every single time they have to stop, log out, hunt down another password, and log back in, that focus is shattered. And those interruptions, they lead to inefficiency and errors, which hit your agency's profitability right where it hurts. And when we break it down, you can see the tangible costs right here. Lost productivity is the biggest piece of the pie. That's the death of the flow state we were just talking about. Then you've got the increased error rate. We've all heard the horror stories of posting to the wrong account. And finally, security risks. Sharing passwords in a spreadsheet or over Slack. It's an auditor's absolute nightmare and a massive vulnerability for both you and your clients. Okay, so we've established the problem is very real and it's very costly. So now let's pivot and look at the solution. We're going to explore a totally new pattern for work, one that's centered around a technology called cloud browsers, which are literally purpose-built to handle this exact kind of multi-brand chaos. The core idea we're talking about is one-click account switching. But look, this is more than just clicking a different tab. For this to really work at an agency scale, it has to deliver on three very specific promises. It has to be more than a feature. It has to be a new, reliable standard for how you operate. And here they are, the three pillars. First up, isolation. This means every single client account lives in its own completely sealed container. No more cookie bleed, no more weird session collisions. Second, speed. Switching from client A to client B is instant. No logging out, no gymnastics. And third, and this is a big one, safety. This lets your team collaborate without ever having to share a password. And you can revoke that access in a heartbeat. So how is this even possible? Well, it's not some clever browser extension or a new kind of profile trick. With a cloud browser, you're actually using a real, full-power browser like Chrome that's running on a secure server somewhere else. The interface is just streamed to your computer, kind of like a video game. And that's the magic that allows for that perfect, pristine isolation between every single tab. All right, now for the fun part. Let's do a direct comparison. You're probably using some of these old workarounds right now. We're going to put them head-to-head with the cloud browser approach, and you'll see pretty clearly why this new pattern is such a massive leap forward. Just looking at the high level, the difference is pretty stark, right? The old way, using tons of local profiles, yeah, it gives you a little bit of isolation, but it comes with a huge mental tax and a constant risk of mixing things up. The new way gives you true per-tab isolation with the beautiful simplicity of one-click switching and, of course, that huge benefit of secure sharing. Now, when we really dig into the details, a clear pattern emerges. All the old workarounds, profiles, password managers, they all just trade one problem for another. You get some isolation, but create a huge mental load. Or you get centralized storage, but it creates massive security risks. A VPN is just too much of a blunt instrument for multi-client work. The remote browser is the only approach that was actually designed for this. It gives you per-tab isolation and secure session sharing. The only trade-off? You gotta be online, and you have to adopt a slightly new, better workflow. This quote just absolutely nails the fundamental shift in thinking here. Share access, not secrets. Instead of handing over the keys to the kingdom, the actual password, you're just granting temporary controlled access to a live session, access that you can shut down with a single click. For agency security, that is a total game changer. So what does this all look like in practice, day to day? In this last section, let's look at the future of agency operations by seeing how this technology can immediately speed up your workflows, while at the same time dramatically improving your security. The practical benefits are immediate, and they apply across your whole agency. Your paid social team can flip between client ad accounts in an instant. Your SEO team can check search rankings from different countries side by side in parallel tabs. E-commerce managers can run multiple storefronts without any conflicts. And my personal favorite, you can invite a specialist into a live client session to fix a technical problem without ever having to email them a password. Think about that. For any agency owner, security is absolutely non-negotiable. This approach is built on a zero-trust model. That means any risky code from a website runs on the remote server, not on your team's laptops. You can share access with a timer, revoke it instantly, and even blur out sensitive info like billing details before you share your screen. And it's all wrapped in enterprise-grade encryption. This is the level of control and protection your clients not only want, but expect. So let's bring it all home. The bottom line is this. Agencies that adopt this model get a competitive edge, not just by being faster, but by being smarter. It's about slashing those hidden costs of context switching, preventing those expensive errors, and building a truly secure environment for collaboration that both your team and your clients can actually trust. And that leaves us with one final, and I think crucial question to think about. After seeing all this, it's pretty clear that the old way of working has some very real and very hidden costs. So I'll just leave you with this. Take a moment and really ask yourself, how much of your agency's hard-earned margin is being quietly drained away every single day by the friction of the login screen? The answer might just surprise you.